Hello, viewers. Welcome back to another episode on my show. In today's episode, I am very excited to have a very good and close friend of mine, Mr. Amruthkiran Hegde. The reason why we have him on his show is because of his recent internship with NASA. Yes, you all have heard it right. He recently interned with NASA. It was definitely a proud moment for his family and all of his friends like me who came to know that he had made a record of interning with NASA by being the first international student at the University of Alabama who made it to NASA. So, I look forward to talking to him and learning from him about his experience working with NASA right from the first step of his application, his interview process through his internship. And with that, I very well want to welcome Mr. Amruthkiran Hegde again on my show. Thank you very much for sharing out so much of your precious time and agreeing to share your valuable experience with my viewers. Welcome, Amruth. And could you please go ahead and talk about yourself a little bit before I start asking you so many questions about this exciting opportunity which you had in your life?
Thank you so much, Trupti, for giving me this platform to share my experience about working at NASA. Yeah, that was a great experience. Currently, regarding my academic profile, I am a PhD student in aerospace engineering at the University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa. I'm specializing in high-speed flows, basically in experimental research, and also I'm doing some computational research. So I put together this experience, and I was looking for some internship opportunities, and in that time interval, I applied for NASA, and that's how I got an opportunity.
Yeah, you are trying to sound very obvious and very humble when you're trying to talk about this opportunity. But before going ahead with the details of your internship, I would like to know, rather, my viewers who are already studying in the United States of America and doing their higher degrees in this country would like to know who are the people or which students from which field or countries can apply for the internship at NASA?
Well, like NASA accepts interns from all over the world, so as to say. It depends on the team. Like NASA, if you speak of it as a as an organization, it's a huge organization. They have several several centers of theirs. There is Marshall Space Flight Center in Alabama, and there is Ames Research Center in California. So there are several such centers, and these centers keep accepting interns from all over the world. But it is of a great advantage if you're in the United States, and if you're in a full-time degree program. It's further advantageous if you're in aerospace engineering, and it even works better if you're doing research. So I think that should give you an idea as to how the how easy the application process can become if you are in this particular field. Having said that, as I said, it's all it all depends on how you prepare your application. That's what it boils down to. But yeah, NASA does accept internship applications from all over the world, but it works well if you're in the United States.
Right. Perfect. Thank you so much for clarifying about this. Now, I have a question related to this previous question is, what is the criteria or the eligibility of the students when they're trying to apply for any internship available in NASA? And when I talk about criteria or eligibility, does it mean not just the stream or the field that you're taking your degree, but is there any rule or any advantage of applying when you're in your fifth degree versus your fifth year of your degree versus the first year of your degree. So does this matter? So what is the eligibility for applying?
So if you are, if you're an international student in the United States, you are automatically on an F1
Right.
visa.
Right.
So you are eligible to work for any employer, when without any sponsorship for a considerable amount of time post graduation, and definitely for when you're pursuing your degree, you can work for any employer on the same visa. So when it comes to NASA, all you can do is, um, just as you're pursuing your degree, just look out for the positions that open up on their website. And when it comes to internship positions, those are pretty general, and those accept applications during the it need not you need not be particularly pursuing your PhD program or your master's program or your bachelor's program. They do accept application from all these degrees, from all these degree levels, and they consider everyone as equal, and they don't they don't give you preferential treatment if you are pursuing your just because you're pursuing your PhD. So they are basically looking out for people who can perform, and who are pretty passionate about their research and who know what they're doing. So degree program in itself doesn't matter. You just need to be pursuing a full-time degree, and if you're doing that, then you can go ahead and apply. Definitely, if you're in your PhD program, the initial years of your during your degree, that helps in the that gives you a focus to pursue your internship. If you're in your final year, then you'll have loads of other things. You have to do a proposal defense, or you maybe even preparing your final dissertation. But that actually, if you have such issues, then initial years of your degree program should be good for you to apply for internship.
Thank you very much. That is very nice to know. You definitely have to be very persistent and have to have good knowledge, subject knowledge of what you are doing. So, regardless of the degree you are into, so that's very, very important to know. Otherwise, there are so many students who hold back, saying, "Oh, I do not have so much of experience, so I would not want to apply," or
Yeah.
because it's just NASA, they would not just entertain me, and that's why they lose out on so much of big opportunity. So thank
Yeah.
you for that. Is there any specific timeline of the year when the students can apply, and is there any specific application process that they have to go through?
Yeah. So NASA basically has summer internships. I am not aware of internships during other time of the year. They have summer internship that runs from end of May till the mid of August every year, and that's when they are, that's when you can do an internship over there. For this, they begin recruiting at the beginning of the year usually.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have applied, say you want to do an internship in the summer of 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and so for that reason you can begin preparing your application from September and October, and like have a solid application ready. That is, like, by application, what I mean is have a solid CV ready by the beginning of the year. And if you apply, that is, and that's when they start screening resumes, and they conduct interviews for internships. So if you are in this timeline, then it becomes easier to score an internship over there.
All right. Uh, so, what are the things to remember when you are preparing for the interview with NASA?
Okay. So what I would say is basically, you should, you know, what I'm saying is everything from the point of view of resume. So when
Mhm.
you write your resume, uh, you need to highlight, you know, say if you are a PhD student, you need to highlight your projects really well, and what you are currently working on and what you have worked in the past. All of this should be, you know, described really well, you know, as in a set of like in a collection of bullet points, and that's what I did in my resume. So, you know, over the first year and second and third year, whatever I did, I, you know, described all of that as projects in my resume.
Mhm.
And like apart from that, you know, I had a separate section for my skill set. And then I also, you know, what I think really worked well for me is that the first impression is the last impression. So I, at the very top of my resume, I had something called as the summary, where I, you know, just condensed all of the, you know, all of my work till date, and I just put that as a collection of bullet points. So where when I, you know, if you can do that, and like, so any screener will, you know, they don't have the time to read your complete resume for sure. So what they do is they just go through, you know, if you have given them a summary, that will make it easier for them to just skim through, you know, get an idea of what is expected in your resume. And that's where I had put in all the important things, like what um, given the terminology that works in the industry. That's what I had used to describe my work. I was not, you know, definitely bluffing over there. I just, you know, instead of speaking in layman terms, I made sure that I use the terminology which works in the industry to describe my experience. So that summary, and then the skill set, and then the list of projects was the most important part of my resume. So for the degree, you know, for PhD people, you know, that really you have enough to talk, you know, to talk about in your resume. When if you are, say, a master's student or a bachelor's or a student in an undergraduate degree, you may not have that much of experience at that time. What you need to say is more about your coursework. Again, you should mention your skill set, but it should be more about your coursework and what you have learned in your coursework, because they, you know, what they are looking for is, again, if they if you say, if a mentor communicates with you, you know, regarding the expectations regarding your project goals, then you should be in a position to understand those goals in terms of technically. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you have undergone coursework, and then definitely you'll be able to understand the person who's screening the resume will know that, okay, so this person understands know the topics and like the fundamentals in this course. So if you are an undergrad, you know, write about your coursework. That really works, because at one point in my career, I had written about my coursework also, and like I was able to get through, get through an interview that way. But now, you know, if you're a master's student or a PhD student, definitely, you know, your projects definitely counts.
Perfect. This is a very valuable piece of information where you definitely should know how to design your resume so that it stands out of the
Yeah,
stands out of the bunch of resumes they have. So,
yeah.
are there any tips when you are really appearing for the interview? What kind of questions they ask, and how should you tackle those questions?
Yeah, for sure. You should be ready. You know, when if you're preparing for the interview, be ready with a story for every project.
Uh-huh.
You know that the interviewer can ask you. Just have a story ready, and just try to guess what you know, what are the follow-up questions that the interviewer can ask you. And you know, because the interviewer really wants to gauge whether, you know, you have done the project yourself, or whether you are a part of a team and you know, did not have that much of a task in the project. So the interviewer wants to really know about that. So have a story ready, and you know, just be very honest with all the things that you have done. That's for sure. And one thing that can even help is, um, if if in between the interview or at the end of the interview, if the interviewer asks whether you have any questions, or you know, if you feel that there is an advantage, there's a time slot where you can take an advantage of, just ask an interviewer, just prepare a 2 or 3 minute presentation that you can give to the interviewer, and that's what I did actually. So what I'd done is, instead of, I wanted to basically, I was finding a way around all the questions that the interviewer may ask, and like I thought the best way to do that is basically prepare a presentation of my research, so that the interviewer can further in detail see my work in and I had the collection of pictures and the results and everything that really conveyed and convinced the interviewer. So I put together that presentation, and I kept it to under 2.5 minutes. So as soon as I got the opportunity to, I asked the interviewer whether I can show him my presentation, and that's what I did. So that thing works. And don't be very pushy with this presentation. If the interviewer says that they don't have time, you may not have the time to pitch in that presentation, but why not try for it? Like it really works wonders for you. So that, like, preparing a story and a presentation definitely works. And just be very thorough in the fundamentals. If you are a bachelor student, or say even if you're doing a master's or PhD, they expect you to know your fundamentals. And they'll just ask you a couple of questions, like maximum 2 or 3 questions. It's an internship position. They'll not go hard on you regarding your fundamentals, but they will question you. They have a list of questions which they feel that every person should know. Like if you're in that degree, you should know the answer to those questions. So they'll be prepare prepare your responses for those fundamental questions also. It's very hard to exactly look up the textbook for fundamental questions, but there are many resources on the internet. Say if you Google say fundamentals of fluid mechanics or fundamentals of structures, then there are a list of questions which you yourself will be surprised you may not know the answer at that point. And if you look up the answer, and then you'll be like, you'll have some confidence that, oh, okay, now I can kind of try to tackle this interview. So right. Yeah, these 3 things, I think if you prepare on the with keeping an eye about all these things, then you should be good.
All right. Yeah, so you definitely need a good thorough foundation when you're trying to prepare for such interviews. Yeah, perfect. These things definitely need to be in the minds of people when they are trying to prepare and taking steps forward towards internship with NASA. We would love to know what your work experience was with them. I understand you worked with the center in California, but you were still working remotely.
Yeah.
I would love to know how that experience was and how your interactions went with the scientists and people there in NASA.
Yeah, so definitely it was. I would say in the beginning it was a bit overwhelming. When you say NASA, like it's the best minds in the world at one place. So I got an opportunity to work with the people at Ames Research Center in Mountain View, California. It is due to COVID, the position was remote, so I did not have to travel. But I cannot reveal that much about the job because of the restrictions. But what I can definitely say is the internship was designed with the view that the candidate should take away the maximum from that experience. And for that reason, every candidate was given a mentor, and that mentor was a full-time employee of that of NASA, and he or she was definitely working on an important project. So the project, and they know what kind of work they need to assign you. And the work, we sometimes may come across, like we sometimes may feel that in an internship the work may not add value, but here it was not so. Like what they really make you feel important. They give you such work where where your output, where your result really decides a small result in the overall project. So every week we had a weekly meeting. This was like, um, in addition, like among the large number of meetings that we had with different groups, this was one such meeting where all the interns got together, and all the mentors got together, and we would just we were required to prepare a one slide presentation of all the things that we did in the week, and we had to speak about that progress, about that work. And this was not intended on keeping and keeping you accountable. It already implied that that was there, but more than that, they wanted to really help you. They say, they want you to write what what you did not understand or where you are stuck, so that they can help you out. They can get you in touch with someone who knows about that problem where you are stuck. And so they want to do is keep the ball rolling. So that was the main intention of that weekly meeting. And apart from this, there were other team meetings, and overall, there were seminars where the people who specialized in those topics areas, the veterans in those areas, they actually gave full-fledged presentations, and those presentations were very detailed, and like it was a really huge learning curve. You really learned a lot in those presentations. So that was all the 8 hours of the day, 40 hours of the week, you are completely immersed in it. There was nothing called as free time in internship. They're like, interns, some people look down upon interns and saying that, okay, these people are working, but they are here for experience. But here, they really made sure that you are accountable, you are giving back to the team, and you are having a great experience. You are really learning something in this internship.
Indeed, an amazing experience, huh?
Yeah.
So, one last question before I let you go. Uh, Give us one example or your experience when you had a best moment during your internship and the worst moment. I'm sure you definitely face something which is not in your favor, and we would definitely love to know that.
Yeah, so I was told by my interviewer right at the beginning that I would have to pick up some skills that were necessary. And when I began my internship, I had many interns who already were working. uh, because of the field in which they were working, they already had those skills, and I had to still develop that. So it was pretty overwhelming right at the beginning. For example, there are some scripting skills that I had to pick up. So that was a bit overwhelming, and that's when I started feeling a bit intimidated. But again, my mentor put me in touch with such people. Like, all he would do is he would copy me on an email, and he would email that the other person, and that person were really sat down with me, spent time in helping me understand how he gave me a plan as to how I can pick up that skill in a very short interval. And that person even gave me assignments to just do, and uh, we, uh, we- doing those assignments really assured that I would pick up those skills. That is about like my, you can say, a worst moment. But the best moment was when I finally was able to give the presentation to the whole of the NASA team. So these last 2 days of the internship, basically all the interns, they prepare a 10-minute presentation, and they present it to the whole of the Ames Research Center, and everybody's present for those presentations. So
Wow.
yeah, and I gave that presentation. It was I think it was one of the best presentations that I've given till my in my life. And even for that presentation, basically I had a rehearsal. And I'm just digressing, but I thought this is also important, like how much they value your work. Like even for the final presentation, there was a rehearsal that was set, and you had to give the presentation in its full form, and your mentor would comment on it, like what are the things that can be added or what needs to be eliminated, like which helped in easily conveying the whole objective of the internship. So that after that rehearsal, I was really polished with my presentation, and I gave the final presentation, and my mentor was very proud of that. So that was a big thing for me. As I said in the beginning when I started, I was like, will I be able to pull it off, or like, what's exactly going to happen? But at the end, when I gave that presentation, I was like quite satisfied and quite happy that I was able to pull it off.
So you indeed had a thorough journey of self-doubt to a confident person.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was, I mean, I think that was a major takeaway for me, that, it's about, you got to keep believing in yourself. Don't, there will be other people in your place, in the same place, in the same stage. You may not have you probably will not realize it, but you should
Yes.
not let yourself down. You should just keep working. That's it. And it will happen. The real failure is when you stop working. That's what it is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for sharing this fantastic journey with us. And thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to have a glance at a real life Shahrukh from Swadesh movie. That's what Amrut is being known in our friend circle these days. So thank you very much again. And as you said, I would like the students who are aspiring to do such internships and go through such great opportunities, please do not self doubt, keep trying. Also value every opportunity. Do not look down at yourself. Do not turn down any opportunity. Trying doesn't hurt. Even if you have failure on the first step, you will definitely get there if you keep trying. Persistence and perseverance is the key to such successes. So with that, thank you very much, Amrut, for your time, and I wish you a lot of success that you deserve in your professional career. And I would like to thank the viewers for all the support and encouragement I have got through. And through my show, I am able to talk to all the great young minds like you and learn your experience as well. So thank you very much again. And I would like to see you again on my show sometime soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.